What happens when you give someone everything, only to watch them spiral into chaos? My sister-in-law Lena was a storm disguised as a persona whirlwind of charm and recklessness that swept into my life when my brother Tom brought her home. She was 28, with a laugh that could light up a room and eyes that hid 1,000 secrets. I loved her like a sister, but love, I learned, can't fix everything. When Tom died in a car accident 2 years ago, Lena fell apart. She stopped working, stopped caring, and soon stopped paying for anything. I couldn't watch her drown, so I opened my home, small, tidy apartmento her. Rent-free, no questions asked. I thought I was helping. I thought she'd heal. But Lena wasn't the healing type. She was the kind who'd rather burn than rebuild. At first, it was small things. Dishes left in the sink, clothes strewn across my living room, her late-night calls with friends that echoed through the walls. I bit my tongue, telling myself she was grieving. But then the nights got later, the messes bigger, and the excuses thinner. She'd vanish for days, returning with smudged makeup and stories she wouldn't share. I'd find empty bottles under the couch, smell cigarette smoke clinging to her clothes. Still, I let it slide. She was family, I told myself. She'd come around. Then came the cops. One night, my phone rang at 2 a.m. Lena's voice, frantic, crackled through the line. She was at the police station, picked up for shoplifting at a convenience store. I drove through the rain, heart pounding, to bail her out. She didn't steal much, just a bottle of cheap vodka and some snacks, but the officer's words stuck with me. She's been warned before. Before? I wanted to ask, but Lena's silence in the car ride home told me she wouldn't answer. I paid the fine, drove her back, and didn't say a word. Not yet. Months passed, and the pattern grew uglier. She'd disappear, return reeking of trouble, and act like nothing happened. My patience frayed. My home, once a sanctuary, felt like a battleground. I'd come home from work to find strangers lounging on my couch, music blaring, and Lena laughing like she owned the place. I'd clean up her messes, pay her fines, and swallow my anger, but it was building like a dam ready to burst. The breaking point came on a Tuesday. I'd had a brutal day at work, my boss breathing down my neck, deadlines crushing me. I walked into my apartment to find Lena and her friends sprawled across the living room, empty beer cans everywhere, and my favorite vase, me mother's vase, shattered on the floor. Something snapped. I yelled. Not just raised my voice, I roared. Lena, what the hell is wrong with you? This is my home. You live here for free, and this is how you repay me. My words echoed, raw and unfiltered, years of frustration spilling out. Lena froze. Her friends went quiet, slipping out the door like ghosts. I expected her to yell back, to argue, to cry. But she didn't. She stood, her face twisting into something I didn't recognize, anger. Yes, but something darker too. You think you're better than me? She hissed, her voice low and venomous. You think you can scream at me like I'm nothing? Before I could respond, she grabbed her jacket, stormed out, and slammed the door so hard the frame shook. I didn't see her for days. Panic crept in. Had I pushed her too far? I called her phone, left voicemails, texted until my fingers ached. Nothing. Then a week later she showed up at my door, eyes red, hands trembling. She didn't apologize, but she didn't fight either. She just sat on my couch, staring at the floor. I'm in trouble, she whispered. Real trouble. She wouldn't say more, but I saw it in her face, fear, shame, regret. The cops had caught her again, this time for something worse. She wouldn't tell me what, but the weight of it hung between us. That night we talked. Not about the fights or the vase or the cops, but about Tom. About how much we missed him. About how grief had carved different paths through our hearts. I realized then that Lena wasn't just reckless, she was lost. Drowning in a pain she didn't know how to name. I'd thought I was saving her by giving her a home, but all I'd done was enable her chaos. She needed more than a roof, she needed help I couldn't give. The next morning I found a therapist's number and slid it across the table. You don't have to do this alone, I said. She didn't respond, but she took the paper. It wasn't a fix, not yet, but it was a start. I learned something that day. Love isn't enough on its own. It takes boundaries, tough choices, and sometimes a willingness to let go. Lena's still here, still messy, still fighting her demons. But so am I. And maybe, just maybe, we'll find our way through this together.